Listen very carefully, because what I'm about to tell you will either change your life forever or leave you exactly where you are. Weak, lost, and waiting for someone to save you. And I don't talk to people who want to stay weak. I talk to those who are ready to become warriors. Every man faces a moment in life where the pain feels unbearable, where everything seems to fall apart. But hear me clearly, that pain is not destroying you, it is forging you. Hard times don't come to break strong men, they create them. Just like steel is melted in fire before it becomes a sword, you too are being shaped by the heat of your struggles. The pain you're feeling right now is not a curse. It's your transformation beginning. Most people complain, cry, collapse, and quit. But warriors rise. When the world is against you, when doors slam in your face, when you're exhausted, when life knocks you down, that is the exact moment where the average man breaks and the warrior is born. Your pain is not weakness leaving your body. It is your power being activated. This is the universe upgrading you, testing if you deserve the life you say you want. The harder your life is, the stronger you become. And it's true. Your pain is your greatest weapon if you choose to use it. Hard times shape your character, discipline, mindset, and resilience. No one grows in comfort. You grow in chaos. When you fight, when you struggle, when you refuse to bow to a world that tries to crush you. That's when you become the kind of man nothing can break. There are only two types of people in this world. Those who run from pain, and those who turn pain into power and become unstoppable. And I can see exactly which one you are capable of becoming. If you make the decision today, every setback, every heartbreak, every betrayal, every failure, every lonely night, all of it is carving a stronger, faster, sharper version of you. Warriors lose battles, yes, but they never lose themselves. They rebuild, they rise, they evolve. You don't need the world's approval. You don't need excuses. You don't need a savior. What you need is to stand up and take control of your life. Because no one is coming to rescue you. No one is coming to hand you success. If you want power, you take it. If you want respect, you earn it. If you want greatness, you build it with your own blood and pain. And once you learn to stand strong inside the storm, the world becomes too small to stop you. When you're in pain, remember, your weak self is dying and your stronger self is being born. Pain isn't your enemy. It's the start of your evolution. Hard times don't break real men. They expose who the real warriors are. Pain is the fire that builds strength. And most people spend their entire lives running from it without ever realizing that the very thing they're avoiding is the only thing capable of transforming them. When life gets difficult, when the weight on your shoulders feels too heavy, when everything seems to be slipping out of your control, that is not life punishing you. That is life preparing you. Pain is not an obstacle, it's a process. The world doesn't hand out strength for free. It demands a sacrifice, and that sacrifice is discomfort, struggle, and the willingness to walk through hell without collapsing. Every time you face pain and keep moving, you forge a little more steel into your character. Every time you resist the urge to quit, you sharpen your mind into something unbreakable. Pain is the greatest teacher you will ever have because it speaks the purest language: adapt, grow, or stay weak. And weakness is something no one respects, not even you when you see it in the mirror. Most people misunderstand pain. They think pain means something is wrong, but the truth is much more powerful. Pain means something is changing. It means your old limitations are being burned away. It means your excuses are being exposed. It means your potential is being forced out of hiding. When a knife is sharpened, it loses parts of itself, but it also becomes dangerous, precise, and powerful. The same happens to you when you go through hard times. Your old habits, your fears, your doubts, they get cut away. It hurts, but it's necessary. Most people never realize the moment you stop running from pain is the moment you start taking control of your life. Because pain only destroys you when you resist it. When you embrace it, it becomes fuel, pressure becomes momentum, and hardship becomes the force that shapes your greatness. There's a reason why the strongest people in history were always born from struggle. You don't build mental armor in a world that always goes your way. You build it in the storm. When you're tired, but you push anyway. When you're scared, but you move anyway. When you're broken, but you stand tall anyway. Pain teaches you discipline, and discipline is the foundation of every achievement worth having. Nobody becomes powerful by accident. Nobody wakes up one morning suddenly strong, confident, respected, and unstoppable. That version of you is forged in moments when you wanted to give up but didn't. In moments when you wanted to cry but wiped your face and kept going. In moments when life said no, but you answered, "Watch me." The world bends for those who refuse to break. And here's the truth you must burn into your mind: pain is not your enemy, comfort is. Comfort seduces you into settling. Comfort convinces you to stay small. Comfort tells you there's no need to push harder, no need to sacrifice, no need to evolve. Pain does the opposite. Pain wakes you up. Pain forces you to confront the gap between who you are and who you could be. Pain whispers, "You're stronger than this," and then dares you to prove it. And when you finally do, when you stand up one more time, when you push past the limit you thought you had, you feel something no comfort could ever give you: self-respect, real confidence, real power. The kind of power that comes from knowing you earned every inch of your strength through fire. So the next time life pressures you, understand what's really happening. The universe is reforging you into someone more capable than before. Your pain is building you. Your struggle is shaping you. Your discomfort is preparing you. Because nothing in this world forges a warrior faster than the fire he refuses to fear. Hard times reveal who you really are, because anyone can pretend to be confident when everything is going their way. It's easy to look strong when life is comfortable, when no one is challenging you, when nothing is threatening your peace. The real test begins the moment things fall apart. That's when the mask disappears. That's when your true character steps into the light. When pressure hits, when stress rises, when people betray you or circumstances shift against you, you finally meet the real version of yourself. Either the one who collapses under the weight, or the one who tightens his fists and stands up taller. Hard times strip away your illusions, your excuses, your fantasies about who you think you are, and they show you exactly what you're made of. And here's the uncomfortable truth. You will never know your potential until life puts you in a situation where you have no option but to fight for it. Most people panic at the first sign of difficulty because they've spent their entire existence hiding from pressure. They've never allowed themselves to be tested. They've built their identity around comfort, around ease, around things working out. So the moment life punches them, they break. They weren't weak because of the difficulty itself. They were weak because they never built the resilience necessary to survive it. Hard times don't make you weak. They expose the weakness you've been protecting. That's the hook most people refuse to see. Your struggle is revealing truth, not creating it. If you break easily, that means you were already fragile. If you crumble under pressure, that pressure didn't create the collapse. It just exposed the foundation that was never solid to begin with. When hardship hits, you learn whether you are controlled by your emotions or guided by your discipline. You learn whether your goals are real or just fantasies you shared when life felt safe. You learn whether you can lead yourself or whether you depend entirely on circumstances being perfect. Hard times force you to confront the gap between your self-image and your actual abilities. They show you whether you are a man of action or a man of excuses. They show you whether you're committed or just pretending. You can't hide from adversity. Adversity sees through you. And in that moment, you either realize you have more strength than you thought, or you recognize how much you still need to build. But the beauty of hard times is that they never reveal your weakness without also revealing your potential. When you're struggling, when everything is falling apart, when it feels like you're drowning, those moments unlock parts of you that comfort could never access. You discover a version of yourself that can take pain and turn it into clarity. You find a part of yourself that refuses to give up even when the odds are humiliating. Hard times awaken instincts that have been asleep for years. They sharpen your focus. They strengthen your resolve. They teach you to breathe under pressure, to move when you're afraid, to think when you're overwhelmed. You grow in ways you never imagined because difficulty forces you to evolve. That separates winners from losers. Strong people use hard times as mirrors, not prisons. Weak people look at adversity and say, "This is why I can't move forward." Strong people look at the same adversity and say, "This is exactly why I must move forward." Hard times give you a choice: expose your weakness and stay weak, or expose your weakness and rebuild yourself into someone unshakable. You're not defined by the hit you take. You're defined by what you do right after it. A man who refuses to break becomes a man the world cannot bend. So when life challenges you, understand what's happening. It's showing you who you are today so you can decide who you will become tomorrow. Hard times are revealing you, sharpening you, and pushing you toward the version of yourself you were always meant to meet. Your weakness is dying and your power is being born, but most people never realize this because transformation never feels like transformation. It feels like pain, pressure, confusion, and chaos. When life is pushing you to your limits, when everything inside you is screaming to stop, that's not the end of you. That's the beginning of a stronger version of you. The uncomfortable truth is that growth and suffering look almost identical, and only those who stay in the fire long enough get to see the difference. Every time you feel like you're falling apart, what's actually happening is that the weaker parts of you are breaking away. Your fear is cracking. Your doubt is burning. Your hesitation is being ripped out by force. Most people never understand the pain you feel is not the destruction of you. It's the destruction of who you no longer need to be. People talk about wanting to be powerful, confident, disciplined, respected, but they want that transformation without paying the price. They think power is a mindset you can download or a quote you can copy. It's not. Power is born when weakness dies, and weakness only dies in battle. When you're exhausted, but you push anyway. When you're afraid, but you take the step anyway. When you're rejected, but you try again anyway. These are the exact moments where your old self starts to fade. You don't become strong through comfort. You become strong by fighting the part of you that wants everything easy. And every time you win that internal battle, even by an inch, a new layer of strength forms. You don't see it immediately, but you feel it. Your tolerance for pain increases, your confidence grows, your voice deepens, your presence becomes heavier. That's the new you being built, silently, ruthlessly, uncomfortably. Most people sabotage their own evolution because they mistake discomfort for danger. The moment life gets hard, they assume something is wrong. They panic, they retreat, they run back to the same weak habits that ruined them in the first place. They never realize that discomfort is not danger. Discomfort is birth. When a snake sheds its skin, it's vulnerable, irritated, uncomfortable, but it's also transforming. When a muscle breaks during training, it burns, it aches, but it rebuilds stronger than before. You are no different. Your pain is not a sign that you're failing. It's a sign that you're being rebuilt. And here's a hook that will stay with you forever. The version of you that survives the pain is always stronger than the version that entered it. Weak men fear change because they cling to who they are. Strong men embrace change because they're focused on who they can become. Every struggle you're facing right now is removing a layer of weakness you no longer need. Your insecurities are being challenged. Your laziness is being exposed. Your excuses are being suffocated. Life is crushing the parts of you that cannot carry the weight of your future. It feels brutal, but evolution always feels brutal. No man becomes powerful by staying the same. The old you must die for the new you to rise. And that process is not poetic, it's painful. But pay attention to what happens after every painful moment. You come back sharper. You come back calmer. You come back more aware, more capable, more disciplined. That's not accidental. That's rebirth. You're not losing your identity. You're shedding your limitations. Every time life pushes you, it's actually pulling power out of you that you didn't even know existed. You are not being punished. You are being prepared. That's the hook that separates warriors from the weak. Warriors recognize pain as transformation, not torture. They understand that the fire they fear is the same fire that forges them. So when your life feels heavy, when your heart hurts, when your mind is overwhelmed, remember this truth: your weakness is dying right now, and your power is taking its first breath. Stand still. Endure it. Let the old you fall apart, because the version rising from it will be unrecognizable, stronger, colder, wiser, and absolutely unstoppable. Warriors are forged, not born. And this is the truth people run from their entire lives, because it exposes the lie they tell themselves that strong men are lucky, that disciplined men are different, that successful men were born with something special. No, they weren't. They were built. Built through suffering, Pressure, rejection, failure, and the relentless decision to keep moving when everything inside them screamed to stop. You don't come into this world powerful. You become powerful through the battles you survive. Warriors are not created in peaceful lives. They are shaped in chaos, sharpened in adversity, and strengthened in storms. That most people never understand the man you admire today was once weaker than you. The only difference is that he didn't stay weak. People love the idea of being strong, but they hate the process required to get there. They want confidence without challenges. They want strength without struggle. They want the respect of a warrior without living the life of one. But the universe doesn't work like that. You don't get the body of a fighter by avoiding pain. You don't get a disciplined mind by choosing comfort. You don't get a powerful presence by hiding from conflict. Everything you want requires a version of you that you haven't built yet. And the building process is brutal. That's why so few people ever become warriors. Not because they lack potential, but because they lack tolerance for pain. They think hardship is unfair, but warriors know hardship is necessary. They treat every challenge like a molding tool, shaping them into something unstoppable. The truth is, every great man has gone through moments that could have destroyed him. They all have scars. They all have nights they couldn't sleep, days they couldn't focus, moments where the world felt like it was collapsing on top of them. But those men kept going. They refused to surrender. They understood a simple but powerful hook: the universe rewards the man who persists when everyone else quits. A warrior's strength isn't in his muscles, his skills, or his intelligence. It's in his refusal to be broken. Life throws storms at him, but he stands. Life hits him hard, but he grows harder. Life pushes him down, but he gets up again and again until standing becomes his nature. Warriors are built by repetition, not of comfort, but of struggle. Every time you face fear and overcome it, you forge a new layer of strength. Every time you push through fatigue, you build endurance not just in your body, but in your soul. Every discipline you force yourself through, every temptation you reject, every weakness you fight, these are the unseen battles that turn ordinary men into legends. No one sees the hours you spent alone grinding. No one sees the tears, the frustration, the setbacks. But that's the point. The world only sees the final version, the warrior. They don't witness the forging process, the same way no one watches the fire shaping steel into a blade. Strength is born in silence long before the world ever notices it. That separates warriors from the rest. Warriors don't wait for motivation. They don't wait for perfect conditions. They don't wait to feel ready. They show up regardless. They train when tired. They work when uninspired. They fight when scared. They keep their word to themselves when the weaker man inside them begs for an excuse. This mentality, this discipline, this refusal to negotiate with weakness, this is what forges a warrior. The world doesn't determine your strength, your decisions do. Your habits do. Your resilience does. Your ability to push through pain does. So understand this clearly. Every hardship you're experiencing right now is part of the forging process. The pressure you feel is reshaping you. The struggle you hate is strengthening you. The pain you fear is preparing you. You're not suffering because you're unlucky. You're suffering because you're being built. And the man who emerges from that process will be far stronger, far sharper, and far more dangerous than the man who entered it. Warriors are forged, and you're in the fire right now. You either break or you become unbreakable, and this single truth separates the exceptional from the average. Every time life hits you, every time pressure builds, every time you're pushed to your emotional and mental limits, the universe is presenting you with a choice: collapse like everyone else, or rise like the rare few who refuse to be defeated. Breaking isn't an accident, it's a decision. People think they break because life is hard. The reality is they break because they choose the easier path. They choose surrender. They choose self-pity. They choose the comfort of giving up instead of the discomfort of fighting back. But the ones who become unbreakable, the ones everyone eventually respects, fear, or follows, these are the people who look at life's hardest moments and say, "Hit me again, I'll still be standing." That's the hook weak men can't swallow. Strength is not about avoiding the storm. It's about learning to walk through it without bowing your head. When life puts pressure on you, it's not trying to destroy you. It's showing you who you really are and what you're capable of becoming. Some people treat difficulties like death sentences. They panic, they freeze, they lose hope. But warriors treat difficulties like invitations. Invitations to evolve. Invitations to unleash a version of themselves they haven't met yet. When you take a hit and keep moving, something inside you shifts. You become harder to discourage, harder to manipulate, harder to break. You start realizing that the worst you thought would happen didn't. You survived it. You're still here. And not just here, you're stronger, calmer, sharper because of it. That's the moment you begin to understand your own power, a power you would have never discovered if life had stayed easy. Most people underestimate the strength they already possess because they've never been forced to use it. They're like swords kept in velvet boxes, shiny, untested, fragile. The first conflict shatters them. But a sword that's been through battle, fire, friction, and pressure, that sword doesn't break. That sword becomes legendary. You're no different. Your challenges aren't there to weaken you. They're there to harden you. Every betrayal made you wiser. Every setback made you hungrier. Every failure sharpened your focus. And every moment you thought you were done, but got up anyway, was a moment that forged an unbreakable layer inside your character. That's the hook nobody wants to acknowledge. Becoming unbreakable is not a gift. It's earned through suffering you didn't want but needed. There's a special kind of confidence that comes from surviving things that were supposed to destroy you. It's not loud. It's not arrogant. It's unshakable. You walk differently. You speak differently. You think differently. You stop seeking validation because you've validated yourself through hardship. You stop fearing the future because you've already survived worse in the past. You stop getting intimidated by obstacles because you've already proven you can outlast them. When you choose not to break, you stop playing life like a victim and start playing it like a conqueror. And conquerors don't beg for easier journeys. They build stronger selves. What weak men call pressure, strong men call training. What weak men call failure, strong men call feedback. What weak men call pain, strong men call fool. You're not meant to remain fragile. You're meant to evolve into someone who can endure storms that would drown others. Someone who can hold himself together when everything around him falls apart. Someone who understands that the world doesn't become easier. The man becomes stronger. That's the hook that turns boys into men and men into leaders. So every time life corners you, every time you're exhausted, overwhelmed, or pushed to your limits, remember this: you're standing at a crossroads. You can either break like the masses who never become anything, or you can keep going until breaking simply becomes impossible for you. And once you become unbreakable, life stops happening to you. You start happening to life. Use your pain as fuel, not an excuse, because every man on this planet is carrying something heavy, but only a few turn that weight into strength. Everyone wants success, discipline, confidence, respect. But most people use their struggle as a reason to stay weak instead of using it as a reason to rise. Pain is neutral until you give it meaning. It can either drain you or drive you. It can either break you or build you. It can either turn you into another victim of life or turn you into a man life can't defeat. The difference is in the choice you make when everything hurts. Weak men collapse and blame the world. Strong men take the exact same pain and say, "Good, now I have something to fight with." That's the hook most people never understand. Pain doesn't stop you. Your interpretation of pain stops you. People complain about their problems as if problems make them unique. They don't. Everyone suffers. Everyone goes through heartbreaks, failures, financial stress, betrayals, loneliness, rejection. Pain is the most common currency of life. The rare ones are the few who learn how to convert that pain into power. The weak sit in their suffering and wait for things to get easier. Warriors take their suffering and turn it into hunger, into discipline, into momentum, into an obsession with becoming better than they were yesterday. Life hits them hard, and instead of asking, "Why me?" they ask, "How can I use this?" That's the mindset that separates winners from the world. Every great man you admire today took something painful in his life and weaponized it. He didn't run from it, he used it. Pain is pressure, and pressure creates direction. When life pushes you, it's not pushing you down. It's pushing you forward if you know how to align yourself. Think about every moment that hurt you. It sharpened your awareness. It made you more cautious, more strategic, more resilient. Pain teaches lessons comfort never will. Comfort lies to you. Pain tells you the truth. It shows you who really cares about you. It shows you who you can trust. It shows you what you need to change. It shows you what you've been avoiding. And here's a hook most people don't realize until it's too late. Pain always reveals the next version of you. Every setback is a signal. Every disappointment is direction. Every hardship is opportunity disguised as suffering. Most people use pain as a story, an excuse they repeat so many times they start believing it's permanent. But pain isn't a prison unless you chain yourself to it. Winners use it as a ladder. They climb using the very things that were meant to keep them down. You think discipline comes from motivation. No, discipline comes from pain, from remembering how it felt to fail, from remembering how it felt to be broke, ignored, underestimated, from remembering the nights you couldn't sleep because life felt too heavy. Pain becomes the reminder that pushes you to train harder, work smarter, move faster, think sharper. Pain becomes your internal engine. When you've suffered enough, you stop negotiating with your weakness. You stop tolerating your excuses. You stop waiting for the perfect moment. You attack life before it attacks you again. There's a reason the most successful people in the world come from hardship. They turned their pain into pressure and their pressure into power. They didn't wait for life to get better. They got better than their circumstances. When you use pain correctly, it becomes impossible to stay average. You start demanding more from yourself. You become dangerous to your own excuses. You become allergic to laziness. You become a threat to the version of yourself that wanted to quit. So when life cuts you, bleeds you, frustrates you, disappoints you, don't waste it. Don't hide from it. Don't numb it. Use it. Let it remind you of who you don't want to be anymore. Let it fuel your discipline. Let it sharpen your focus, because the man who learns to convert pain into power becomes unstoppable. He stops running from life and starts running toward greatness, with every scar fueling the speed. Today, you decide who you are. Are you the man who hides from pain, or the man who uses pain as fuel to become unstoppable? Every hard moment you're facing right now is building you into something powerful, something disciplined, something legendary. So stand up. Take control. And when the world asks how you became so strong, look them straight in the eye and say, "My pain forged me into a warrior."